drinking my coffee, I really want to talk to you today about mindset and creating the life that you want to become your authentic self. Okay? And I'm going to explain what I have learnt through my own journey. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm about to do my own journaling and pull my tarot, obviously. You know, oh, look, meadow crows. Anyway, I digress. We are 4 days away from the full moon. So, what did you set out to achieve to create the life that you want? What is it that you want to do? And what have you learned about your journey so far? So, number one, years ago, let's go back to 2004. 2004, I began getting into photography. And it all started because, yes, I've had childhood trauma. I've had trauma throughout my life. And a lot of us do go through trauma. We cannot quantify trauma, can we? So, anyway, I felt like I was pulled away from where I felt that I belonged at an early age because of traumatic circumstances. So I got the opportunity to go back to my childhood haunts where I remember being so at one with myself, so peaceful, so not care in the world. And funnily enough, this was when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And this is going to probably shock you. I used to like to hang out in the local churchyard on my own. Just totally immersed in nature, in the birds singing, in the smell of the salt on the breeze coming from Morecambe Bay. Yeah, that's where I grew up. So, and I just used to love reading the headstones. It's a very ancient graveyard in a place called Heysham. Goes back to Viking times, and there's ruins of the 6th century chapel of St Patrick's up on the headland, or otherwise known as the Barrows. Honestly, it's a very spiritual place. Anyway, I used to just walk in this churchyard on my own. Times were different then. I mean, gosh, I'm 54. These are the days where we did get kicked out of the house and we went on an adventure. We had no inhibitions. We had nothing, not like this day and age where we're seeing all the horrors of life. Oh my God, nothing held us back. So I used to love going into the local churchyard and reading the stories on the headstones, and I'd get lost in the atmosphere. I'd get lost thinking about the lives that once walked the path that I'm walking now, probably. Yeah, very imaginative and very creative. Anyway, I wanted to take photographs to remind me of how I felt back then, because obviously I'd moved away and I had the opportunity to go back there. So I got a camera and I took the photographs. And when I got home, I downloaded the photographs onto the computer. I looked at them and I felt deflated. 100% deflated. They were just snapshots. They did not hold that. They didn't give me the feelings that I wanted to feel. And this was back in 2004. So this is what started me on my photography quest, because then I started understanding that to create a photograph with emotion, I have to bring this in, and I have to play with light and shadows, and how do I get that emotion to express itself in a picture. So yeah, that started me off on my photography journey in 2004. And I do like graveyards. Don't know why. Always like them. I think there is a beauty in death. Okay. Okay, so just to give you a quick example of what I'm talking about, this is my photography site. Life comes full circle, and yeah, there's a self portrait. I could go into a whole. This could be a podcast on its own, but allow me to show you what I'm talking about. So, Hisham is where I grew up. And this is the graveyard that my childhood haunt. And this here is an old Saxon cross shaft. Just to give you an idea of how ancient this place is. Um, and this is where I'm playing with the light and the shadows. And funnily enough, I call this Hesham Tree of Souls because my ancestors are buried here at the base of this tree. Now, obviously, what I'm talking about here goes into more detail in the blogs, but it's just to give you an example of how I could get lost as a child spiritually in this graveyard. I mean, look at this tree. I do call it the Tree of Souls. And you may recognise this. This was featured on a Black Sabbath album. And it's the rock cut graves up on the barrows. So let's get back to where I need to be. So, come forward about 10 years, I've developed my skill. I've created a website. It's still live actually now if you want to go and have a look at my gothic horror photography. amandanorman.com. It's all on there. Talk about my mental health as well, my journey through my photography. It developed 10 years later due to the feedback of people. It developed into a dream of becoming a professional photographer, like my hero, Sir Simon Marsden, the late Sir Simon Marsden. Oh my gosh, I still remember to today when there was a documentary on the Discovery Channel, and my gosh, I found somebody who was like me, who liked kind of like supernatural, you know, believing in beyond the physical, feeling what can we see, feel, hear beyond the physical. I realised at that moment I'm not on my own. And then I wanted to become a professional photographer. I wanted to quit my mundane career of health and safety. I wasn't happy. I was not happy. And it remained a dream. This is my lesson. It remained a dream because I wanted stuff to change. I did not realise that it was me who had to change. It was me who had to effect that change. So it remained a dream. It's no longer applicable for me because, I mean, in 2017 I suffered my my defining moment. I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. Yes, I was suffering depression. I was giving up on life. Basically, my vibration was so low. Oh, I was giving up. I was giving up because I wasn't being who I wanted to be. And all of my energy was spent giving it to other people. And to my career, I had no self love. I had no time for me, basically. So, yeah, eventually it succumbed to depression and being diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. It's a defining moment because a voice inside of me said, enough is enough, Mandy. You are stronger than this. It is time to get yourself out of this rut. And I listened. The reason I'm talking to you about this today, because if you keep it as a dream, if you tell yourself you're not good enough, you'll fail. You're creating that energy, those vibrations, and what we think, feel, and believe, what we put out into the universe is what comes back. Okay? It's not that the universe is going to punish us. No chance at all. I am talking about that. It's about our mindset. We need to switch. We need to stop dwelling, ruminating on what hasn't gone right. Why am I suffering? Why does this happen to me? When are things going to change? You get me drift? No, 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 no. How do you become your authentic self and be and do what it is that feels right for you? How do you reconnect with your soul? Define who you are. Face your challenges. How can you chunk your vision, your goal, down into the most basic, easiest baby steps possible? Because Rome wasn't built in a day. When we're working on becoming our authentic self, when we're working on our deep inner healing journey or manifesting the life that we want, it's not going to happen overnight. I'm telling you this now. It's not. It's a hard journey. But by committing one step at a time, even that first step will open the next door, and it will inspire you, and you'll see the changes. You will start opening up to this better life because you are affecting change. We're coming up to the full moon, the first full moon of 2026. But any full moon, on the new moon, follow in here what your higher self, listen to what your higher self is telling you. And then, okay, how can you effect that change? Okay, so I'm where I am now because I did what I've just said, basically. And you can too. It's about mindset and it's about taking action. All right. So, thank you for listening. And if you want, oh yeah, look at the state of me. I just had to come on and get that said. Right. I hope that it helps you. Hit subscribe, follow me, and ask me questions in the comments. You know, I'm setting out on a new adventure for 2026. I'm creating vlogs. And do I even know fully what I am doing right now? No. But I'm taking action and I will learn. All right? I'm living the life that I chose for myself back in 2017. That is when my new dream came of quitting the mundane 9 to 5. Well, it wasn't 9 to 5. It should have been 9 to 5, but oh no, I'm sure you've been there in the corporate sector. What a life that was. It was not a life that I wanted to live. Anyway, better life. Better. I've never been happier. I own my power. And I'm setting out on a new adventure for 2026. My growing my business, sustaining my clients, helping people through my own journey, my wisdom and my knowledge is what I want to do. My calling, and here I am. So have a lovely day. Don't sit or stay in that low energy. Yeah. Just think, if you think I can't do this or I'm not capable of doing this, just flip it. Okay? What will happen if you do get it? And what one little step can you take right now to achieving it? Okay? My name's Amanda. Thank you for listening if you're still here. And yeah, if you want my help, get in touch. And have a lovely day. It is time to transform your life. Goodbye.